This is the Voice of Louisiana Agriculture podcast for Tuesday, August 20th of 2019.
Welcome to the Voice of Louisiana Agriculture podcast, a look at the latest news in Louisiana agriculture. Now, here's the host of the Voice of Louisiana Agriculture podcast, Carrie Martin.
USDA released its latest crop progress and condition report yesterday, and it shows a slight decline in the nation's soybean crop ratings.
We lost a point out of good to excellent, now 53%. We gained a point in the very poor to poor, now 14%, well below last year's numbers at this time, 65% good to excellent, and 11% very poor to poor.
That's USDA meteorologist Brad Rippey.
At least one-fifth of the acreage rated very poor to poor in Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio.
And Rippey says heat and drought are both causing problems for the nation's cotton crop.
Moving to the south and looking at cotton, we have some problems developing across the southern plains due to heat and drought. Overall boll setting is right on schedule, and everything, it comes up 85%. This week, 5-year average, and last year, all 85% setting bolls. And looking at bolls opening, we are now at 24%. That's well ahead of the 5-year average of 13%. 16% was the number last year. A lot of that is due to the heat pushing the crop along in places like Texas. There we see 32% of the bolls open, and the 5-year average is just 15%. Not surprisingly, cotton condition falling sharply during the week ending August 18th. Now just 49% good to excellent. That's down 7 points from last week. 15% very poor to poor, up 5 points. And as is very normal, Texas driving that number. We saw the good to excellent number in Texas declining 10 percentage points to 42% good to excellent. The very poor to poor rating up 7 points from 12 to 19% just over the last week.
Rice harvest is falling behind here in Louisiana, mainly because of rain showers. But nationwide, Rippey says weather conditions are favorable for rice harvest.
The rice crop, most of it now headed out 88%, 5-year average 93%, 94% last year. And the rice harvest continues in the western Gulf Coast region under favorably hot, dry conditions. 10% of the U.S. rice harvested, 13% is the 5-year average, 14% last year, and we've reached the halfway mark for the rice harvest in Louisiana as of August 18th. Rice condition holding virtually steady for the week ending August 18th. We're sitting at 68% good to excellent and 6% very poor to poor. That is not too far below what we saw this time a year ago, 73% good to excellent and 4% very poor to poor.
USDA meteorologist Brad Rippey. Well, let's look at the Louisiana version of the crop progress and condition report released yesterday. It shows that corn and rice harvest continue to move forward here in our state. However, we are falling slightly behind the 5-year average pace, mainly because of rain showers that tend to hamper field work and shut down harvest for the day. A lot of areas of the state getting those afternoon pop-up showers, and that is slowing things down. Corn harvest now at 36% done. That compares to the 46% 5-year average. Rice harvest is now 50% done. The 5-year average pace is 57. Soybean harvest getting started on a small scale. We have 5% of the bean crop now harvested. The 5-year average is 8%. Sugarcane planting now well underway. 18% of the cane crop is now planted. And sweet potato harvest is starting. 1% of the sweet potato crop now harvested here in Louisiana. As far as some crop ratings go, we'll run down some of those numbers here. We'll start with soybeans. 6% of the bean crop rated excellent, 57% good, 28% fair, and 9% rated poor to very poor. Corn conditions, 7% excellent, 46% good, 38% fair, 9% poor. 7% of the rice crop is rated excellent, 58% good, 30% fair, and 5% poor to very poor. And sugarcane, we have 16% rated excellent, 47% good, 30% fair, and 7% poor to very poor. The Pro Farmer Crop Tour is underway in Louisiana with two legs. They have an Eastern Corn Belt Tour and a Western Corn Belt Tour. On the eastern leg of the tour, scouts found some interesting things yesterday regarding crop health. That's according to tour agronomist Mark Bernard.
We certainly saw the maturity issues that we've been hearing about all summer long, both on the corn and the bean side. I was probably most disappointed with the beans, actually. We looked at beans that were about two-thirds of what they were a year ago, so that concerns me. And not only that, a lot of blister stage corn as well. So is it going to make it? That's hard to say here in Indiana, especially without Lake Erie to protect it like Ohio has.
The western leg of the Pro Farmer Crop Tour went through South Dakota yesterday. Pro Farmer's Jeff Wilson.
Today in South Dakota, we came up with an average yield of 154 bushels per acre on 68 samples, which is a good sample selection. It's about what we normally do. So, and that's down 13.4% from a year ago. It's 2.8% below the 3-year average. So it's down. And just for reference, USDA put the South Dakota crop at 157 bushels, and that's only down about 2%. So our number's down a fairly substantial amount.
The Pro Farmer Crop Tour continues throughout this week. Here in Louisiana, 16 horses have tested positive for Eastern equine encephalitis, and one has tested positive for West Nile virus since June 5th. Department of Agriculture and Forestry Commissioner Mike Strain is reminding horse owners to vaccinate their animals for both EEE and WNV.
We need to vaccinate our horses not only for encephalitis, but also West Nile, which is an encephalitis. And now is the time because, again, we're seeing a rise, and this is the largest amount we've seen really since 2012. We need to make sure that we contain this and we do appropriate mosquito control. It's very, very, very important. And, again, everyone, you need to protect yourself.
Strain, who is also a veterinarian, says there is no human vaccination for either of these viruses. So protecting yourself from mosquito bites is the best measure. 2 Texas men are accused of stealing timber from a landowner in Vivian, Louisiana. Back in July, the landowner, who resides in Beaumont, Texas, reported that sometime between January and June of this year, someone cut timber on his 10-acre piece of property in Caddo Parish. The Louisiana Department of Agriculture and Forestry investigated the incident and say the timber was harvested without the permission of the property owner. Ag Commissioner Mike Strain says it's important to keep an eye on timberland.
This is a crime. This is a felony. And so one of the things we do recommend to landowners is periodically check your properties. If they're in multiple parishes or wherever, go around and check your properties, because what happens, timber thieves, if they get to know that you're not checking on your properties, and especially, if you have elderly parents, check on their properties to make sure this doesn't happen. And if you suspect you have timber theft, call us immediately, 225-922-1234.
The stolen timber had a value of $29,394, and it was sold in the state of Texas.
Now let's look at the markets on the Voice of Louisiana Agriculture podcast.
Soybeans close slightly higher. However, the corn market continues to take it on the chin. There was actually some positive news coming out of the Pro Farmer Crop Tour going on this week, but it did not seem to have any effect on the corn market. Chris Robinson is with the Cow Guy Group on the trading floor in Chicago.
Well, obviously, the problem is this. We got some lower yields in the crop tour yesterday. We had the good to excellent rating drop 1% for both corn and beans. And last night they tried to buy it. I was up about 2 o'clock in the morning, unfortunately, watching it, and it looked like, okay, we were trying to carve out a bottom, and there's no follow through. So whenever the market gets potentially good news, it just looks like, for whatever reason, we're continuing to see people sell the rallies. I really think it might be the managed money who, remember, they were long 80,000 contracts. I think between now and the end of the month, they unfortunately may have some more to sell. Certainly we need some bullish news, some really bullish news out of that crop tour to sort of turn things around. Because right now, East corn is within a nickel of the May contract low. My experience has been that When we get that close to that old low, the market wants to go down there and see what happens. So we might get that flush down there, sadly, for corn producers here as we get through the rest of the week. So we were all looking for a turnaround Tuesday, and it just fizzled.
Here's a look at how the markets closed. We had a slightly higher close in the bean market. September soybeans up 1 3/4, 8.55 3/4. New crop November beans up 1 3/4, 8.68 1/4. But that corn market headed lower. September corn down 5 1/2, 3.59 1/2. December corn down 5 3/4, 3.68 3/4. September wheat down 5 1/2, closing at 4.60 a bushel. Rough rice closed slightly lower. September rice down 5 cents, 10.98 a hundredweight. November rice down 5 at 11.28. November sugar unchanged, 25.81 cents. Now with a look at the cotton market, here's Don Molino.
Cotton futures at New York next in a turnaround Tuesday attempt. Parts of northern Texas and the southeastern U.S. did receive rain over the weekend. Condition ratings belt-wide were down 7% to 49%, good to excellent. At New York Monday afternoon, October cotton, 59.17, down 1. New crop December, 59.14, down 10. March cotton finished today at 60.08, up 3. The spot market price for North and South Delta, 56.17, down 1. I'm Don Molino on the Voice of Louisiana Agriculture podcast.
At the Kinder Livestock Auction, Kinder, Louisiana this week, 2 to 3 weight steers brought $1.20 to $1.85 a pound. 3 to 400 pound steers $1.10 to $1.75. 4 to 500 pound steers brought $1 to $1.55 a pound. 5 to 6 weight steers brought $90 to $1.42. 6 to 700 pounders 80 cents to $1.27 a pound. Bred cows brought $400 to $1,200 a head. Cow-calf pairs range from $500 to $1,300 a pair. Cattle futures moved higher on Tuesday. August live cattle up $1.60, 101.80. September feeder cattle up 90 cents, 133.72. October feeders up 47, closing at 133.65. Well, it has definitely been a crazy week in the cattle market following last weekend's fire of the Tyson packing plant up in Kansas. So what effect has that had on our cattle markets here in Louisiana? Well, we'll ask Rayburn Smith, who runs Red River Livestock Auction in Coushatta. He's also a Superior Livestock representative here in Louisiana and one of the largest Superior Livestock reps in the country. Rayburn Smith is next on the Voice of Louisiana Agriculture podcast.
This is Trace Atkins for the Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation. Farm Bureau has been working for Louisiana's farmers and ranchers since 1922, and that work continues today. If you're a farmer or rancher, Farm Bureau wants you to join and be a part of their family. Farm Bureau knows you're busy running your operation, so while you're at work on your farm or ranch, Farm Bureau is watching out for your interests. So join today. The Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation, the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
The Voice of Louisiana Agriculture podcast.
Our guest today is Rayburn Smith. Rayburn is no stranger to the Louisiana cattle industry. He's a Superior Livestock representative. He also runs Red River Livestock Auction in Coushatta, Louisiana. Well, Rayburn, let's talk about the cattle market. You know, we had the big fire at the Tyson plant in Kansas, shutting that plant down just a little over a week ago. Have we seen a spillover effect from that in our cattle market here in Louisiana?
Well, it depends on what day it was, but when Monday and Tuesday, of course, were down a limit, and it was just hard to sell one at all. I guess they were probably from steady to 30 cheaper Monday and Tuesday. Came back a little bit Wednesday, board limit up, came back pretty good, but they're always slower to put it back on than they are to take it off.
Did you see that reflected in your sale on Wednesday?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
So what kind of price pressure did calf prices come under on Wednesday at the barn?
Well, our cattle were probably from steady to 5 cheaper, maybe a few of them 10 cents cheaper, but it was actually a whole lot better than we thought it was going to be. And we were saved by the board. That board came back limit up, and so that really helped us on Wednesday.
Well, Rayburn, we're seeing a big drop in corn prices, too. Typically, that helps us out on calf prices. Do you feel like this low corn market is something that is helping us?
Absolutely. If it wasn't for that low corn market, or corn being a little cheaper, we would have been in a sure enough wreck. I'm talking about it would have been terrible.
Well, Rayburn, we're getting into the time of the year where the runs start picking up here as we start heading toward that big fall run. How have the numbers looked coming through the auction barn here over the last week or two?
Well, they're kind of below average. Everybody's kind of holding up because of the market, but it's getting to the point to where they're fixing to have to come to town. And of course, this fire couldn't have happened at a worse time. Hot, dry. It's just people in the hay fields. Everybody just won't do everything but cattle right now. So it was put a little pressure on the market, but like I said, it's coming back pretty good. We have a video sale today, this week, and we're struggling, but it's better than I thought it was going to be.
You got a lot of cattle in that sale from Louisiana?
Yes, sir. Quite a few Louisiana cattle on today.
Well, you mentioned being in the hay field. How have pasture conditions looked up in your part of the state here this summer?
Well, we were awful wet all the year up until about 2 to 3 weeks ago, and now we could use a little rain. It's getting pretty dry.
Do you feel like that we've been able to put up enough hay this year?
There's going to be an abundance of hay. A lot of hay been put up. Most people have their needs already met, and there's going to be a lot of hay ready to cut right now that's being cut as we speak.
Rayburn, what advice would you have for cattlemen who, of course, have a calf herd ready to go, ready to sell for this fall? What kind of marketing advice would you have for them as they get ready to sell their calves this fall?
Well, I had some good advice, but rule of thumb, if you're ready to sell, I don't know that it's going to get any better. I would sure hope it would. Kind of hinges on the weather and the corn. So hindsight would be 20/20. I mean, we need to. It'd be good to be able to look down the pipe and see what we had coming. But I'd say if they're ready to go, they don't hold very well. It'd probably be time to sell,
Well, Rayburn, if people want to get in touch with you about marketing their cattle, you market a lot of cattle in the state of Louisiana. How do they get in touch with you?
They can call me at 318-471-2773, or call my son Joel at 318-471-1896. One also get back to you immediately, and we'd like to sell your cattle.
And, of course, Rayburn, you can take care of both auction barn cattle there through Red River Livestock in Coushatta, as well as Superior Livestock if they want a video sale, correct?
Yes, sir, and we do private treaties also.
Private treaty sale as well.
You got some ready to go right now and don't have time to get them on the video auction, well, truck lots, we can sure do something with them.
That's Rayburn Smith with Red River Livestock in Coushatta and Superior Livestock Auction. Thanks a lot, Rayburn. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
That wraps up the Voice of Louisiana Agriculture podcast for Tuesday, August 20th of 2019. We'll see you tomorrow, but in the meantime, be sure to connect with us on social media. We're on both Facebook and Twitter. The handle is @VoiceOfLAAg, @VoiceOfLAAg. We'll see you tomorrow on the Voice of Louisiana Agriculture podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Voice of Louisiana Agriculture podcast. This podcast is produced by Carrie Martin and the Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation. For more information, be sure to check out our website, voiceoflouisianaagriculture.org and lafarmbureau.org.